Oh, you're right. It is. Oh, it feels like a press conference. It does. Ooh. Hello, my name is Jolie, and I am an addict. Jolie. It is an honor and such an excitement to be able to be asked to come and share my story, my experience, strength, and hope, not just in general, but here at this convention and here alongside of my friend, right? Me and Jeff just had a date night this week, and then we have dinner plans next week, and I'm like, oh, I guess I'm seeing you Saturday too, you know, like, but recovery has given me that of like, ooh, before I got here, I did not have friendships like that, you know, well, I'll get into it, but I wasn't even the person who could know who I was not gay at all when I got here. And if I happen to even stumble into a meeting like this, it is not because of anything other than I just heard it, maybe it's a good meeting and people are very open and vulnerable and just want to be supportive to the community, maybe. Ooh, so anyway, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for NA. Man, I'm with you. It's how can we give back? Like, there's no way to give back all I've gotten. Like, oh my God. So if I'm asked to share, I am willing to give you all my story, whatever you want, right? And, you know, my journey, and by the way, before I totally, get into it, I just to preface, right, I am not a spokesperson or anybody like that for NA. I am not a spokesperson for the LGBT community. I am just some chick who happened to stumble into an NA meeting when I was 18 years old because a girl invited me to a meeting, and I didn't realize, but I kind of had a crush on this girl, but I definitely didn't have a crush on her because I was not gay. But she just invited, and I was there, coffee, cookies, okay? I had nothing else going on in my life, right? So I'm just somebody who stumbled in here a little over 15 years ago, and I've just kept coming and peeling back these layers of the onion of who I am. Oh, I'm a trauma survivor. Ooh, still peeling that one, right? Oh, I happen to be a gay, I'm a lesbian. Ooh, is that okay? Is that safe? Is that okay? Is that true? Right, okay. Oh, I'm an addict. Right, not in this order, right? But peeling back the layers, oh, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a business owner. What? Me? What? Oh, I am a responsible sister today and a daughter, right? And I was a dog owner, and I was a fiance at one point, and I was a homeowner, all of these things, right? I was a partner. All of, recovery has been the foundation of me learning about who I am, and I've peeled some big layers off, right? And I'm still peeling. And I don't think that journey of peeling ever stops because we continue to live and we get some dust on us. We got to shake the dust off, shake it off, right? And I'm still on that journey 15 years later because I stumbled in here, man, and I found something that has touched my heart and my soul and my spirit in a way that I wasn't looking for. I am gonna cry, and it is okay because I came prepared, because recovery has also taught me that I am a sensitive flower. And that used to be something that I was very ashamed about. It's something that would be used against me, right? Toughen up. What's wrong with you? You're so emotional, you're so sensitive. And for the longest time, I internalized that was something wrong with me, so I did try to toughen up. I'm fine. But what that led me to is a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, and a lot of self-loathing that I had that ultimately led me to want to escape and slowly commit suicide with whatever substance I could find. Of course. It makes sense, doesn't it? Right? And my story is, you know, a little different. And that's the beauty is, at the end of the day, we all have the different stories, but it's the same feelings underneath. And recovery has taught me that I didn't know that other people felt the pain that I felt before I got into recovery. My first meeting, there was a kid that was sharing, and it happened to be a gay meeting. Again, I just happened to be there. And right? But like there was this kid sharing across from me something about like his grandma, and there was like some loss going on or grief or whatever. And I had never really like heard somebody share about that type of pain before. Like in my family, we didn't touch any of that. There was trauma everywhere, right? My parents divorced when I was, I think, 5 or 6, and there was lots of just generational trauma and secrets, and we don't talk about feelings, and definitely don't cry because you miss your dad, and definitely don't cry because your mom is, you know, a single mom of 3 kids, so, you know, she has to work all the time. She's not emotionally available. Like, we're all fine. We are all totally fine. And then when later traumas and abuse happens, it's fine. We're all fine, right? So much that it's not, I don't need to talk about it, right? This is just normal what people go through. So I'm fine. I got really good at that. But this kid was sharing, and like something like split me open, man. And this was in New Brunswick, New Jersey in 2011. And then, you know how we go in meetings, right? Like he's like, all right, thanks for letting me share. It's like, all right, thanks for sharing. And then the next person starts sharing about something totally different and unrelated. And I remember I was so confused in this moment of like, whoa, what? You know, I'm thinking I'm new to this meeting. And all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, like, what are you, we're just going to go? Like, we have to help him. Like, hold on, stop the meeting. Like, he is in pain. We need to help this guy. And like, I didn't outwardly do that, but you know, but like that idea of like, how do we just create this space and this opening for pain to be shared, and we don't need to fix it, because just that ability to have a safe place to share it is healing, without someone saying, oh, but at least that it could have been worse, right? Like, no, we just listen. And we take it in and we say, like, I see you, I hear you, like, thank you for sharing. Man, there's power in that. And that's the beginning of me starting my journey of, like, learning how to feel my feelings again, right? Because I used, for me, it was a pretty short period of time. I started using in high school. I was probably, like, 14 or 15. I got clean at 18, right? Do the math. But, you know, somebody said it really, really great at, there was an NA convention, world convention once, and he just said it really cool, where it's like, hey, like the addiction, the using, so many of us think like that's the problem. I know I thought that was, well, I didn't think that was the problem. I didn't have any problem, but so many of us think it's like, oh, it's the using that's the problem. And I've come to realize, like, the using was not the problem. The using was the solution to the bigger problem of the pain. Ooh. Then the cookie starts to crumble. And it's like, wait, if using was the solution to the pain, what is... And the pain is actually that core problem of, like, the pain of not being able, like, not being okay in my own skin, right? And for me, I had some religious trauma growing up. Like I said, I was definitely not gay, because I was the one that was telling everyone who was gay why they were, you know, committing a mortal sin and going to hell. I was the one that would tell you that, and I'd show you the different scriptures to back that up. Like, I love you, and that's why I'm telling you the truth. But listen, like, I was like 13, 14, I believed this, and I internalized it. So I was that disgusting human being for even having a thought of that could possibly be me. And so that religious trauma really ingrained for me. And I hated myself, man. And using gave me a way to not feel that so much. But it didn't really work. You know, I would black out sometimes, and like friends would just tell me that I was like starting to hurt myself, right? And like hitting my head against the wall. And I was like, why am I, like, it's just, what was inside here was so unmanageable and so painful. And I felt like if you had lived the life that I had lived, then you would be using too, so don't judge me. But then I started realizing, like, oh, other people have had pain too. And I started opening up and realizing, oh, there's another way. And my journey with recovery and coming out is a dovetailed process. Like I said, I came into recovery when I was 18 because I just stumbled in. It was an accident, right? Really. At that point in my life, I was using socially. And it was like kind of moderated because I was saving up money to get my own car or my own apartment so that I could go nuts, right? So I was under control. I was a smart addict, right? Like, and I researched my drugs before I mixed them so that I know how to get the right effect and not actually kill myself, right? So I'm definitely, you know, not just an addict. I'm just a smart person that is found a medication for this pain that nobody understands and that I can't even express myself. So I came into recovery with no connections, no emotional anything. Like my conversations with people was just like, what do you got? Right? Can you cover my shit? Because I'm about to be blacked out tonight. That's it. What do you got? If you don't got what I got, what do you have? Or do you know where I can get something? That was the only conversations. Today, man, my conversations are like, hey, man, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? Right? Me and Jeff, I cried already with him on the phone this morning. So, like, you know, and it's like, oh, man, like I'm feeling some feelings. Like, that was not my life back. Like, I ran from my feelings, and I was willing to go to any lengths to not feel, because feeling was so painful. And anyway, so I stumble into recovery. There happens to be this guy, this older, gay Spanish guy at the gay meeting that I happened to go to just because. And every time after I would go to this meeting, he would share something, and after the meeting, every time I would be like, dude, you are so wise. You know, he had such a wisdom and a calmness about him and this flamboyant flair, right? And I didn't realize that was safe for me because I had so much internalized homophobia. I had so much internal trauma with my mom, with females in general, women figures, this weird, like, oh, it was so tangled. So I didn't realize, like, oh, I was feeling safe with him. And I asked him to be my sponsor. When I got clean. I asked him to be my temporary sponsor, and our temporary sponsorship lasted for about 15 years. We never made it official. And commitment issues, right? But, you know, looking back, I know that somewhere subconsciously there was probably something that was like, I know I'm feeling these weird feelings inside, and I don't know what it is. But here's a guy that's a gay guy. He seems happy and he's living recovery and he seems to love himself. Like, maybe he can help me figure out what's going on. And he did. He did. You know, people talk, you know, we started working the steps and you know, we started doing my fourth step and it was really exciting. The beginning of that fourth step talks about peeling that onion, right? Peeling the layers. And a lot of us are afraid that if we peel the layers, we're going to find a monster that pops out of the closet, right? When really the basic, the step working guide talks about how we peel the layers, and actually what we're going to find, we're kind of giving you the, we're spoiling the ending for you, right? When you peel the layers, what you're going to find is a pure and like healthy, natural spirit in you, like a core, like inside all of us is that core goodness. You're not going to find a monster. The monster is just like these other layers to peel back, but like at the core, you're going to find this like beautiful spirit. And I was like, let's go. I'm going to do my fourth step tonight. Like, I'm ready. And everyone's, really afraid of the fourth step. And it was during the fourth step that I realized that I was gay. And that I had a lot of self-hatred. And that if I could just, accept myself, look how beautiful that could be. And, that was its own journey in of itself. But, when people are afraid of doing the fourth step, these days, I tell them, hey, I understand. You don't know what you might find. I found out I was gay. Who knows what you'll find? Just saying. It's not going to make you gay. It's just going to show you what's there. And sometimes it's scary to see what's there, right? But I had people around me that were, very loving to let me know, this thing that I thought was so, disgusting about me and ugly and to be, ashamed of and shameful and hide. Well, the one thing he told me that stuck with me, that, helped me come out was, he's like, you're hiding the most beautiful part of yourself. And that was what? It's not just something that's neutral and not disgusting, but it's fine. It's you're actually saying it's beautiful and something to be open and big about. Because I didn't come from a sex positive family, right? Sexuality in general was never mind. Oh, sexuality, and you happen to be almost, now you're twisting it a little too much, right? And he was able to not just help me with my, realizing that I am gay, but also just realizing, sex can be a beautiful thing. It's not something I have to be ashamed about. Because also in my story is that I was not able to have sex unless I was somehow messed up or intoxicated. That's how insecure and afraid I was. It was scary, man, because at least if I'm messed up and it's really, really bad, then it's not me that's somehow really bad. It's I could blame it on, oh yeah, I was messed up last night. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Whew. Yeah, that was crazy. But if I felt like it was me, you are a unattractive or a terrible partner or not sexy or attractive or whatever, that felt so vulnerable and raw. So I had to get high just to have sex. So then when I got clean, I'm I don't know. I don't know if I can have sex with anybody, guy or girl, and and it might be why are we talking about sex? But that was a part of my journey of recovery is if I did not deal with these natural parts of me being who I am, there's nothing wrong with being a sexual being, but I had so much shame attached to it that, hey, it's not that far out for me to say, I'm so frustrated and so afraid, and I just want to just be able to just go have sex with somebody, and the only way I know how is let me go use. So this is a recovery thing for me, right? And I learned how that's a need, and it's beautiful, and it's something that I can find a healthy way to meet my needs, right? Without manipulation or lying or deceptiveness or self-destructing in the process. And I'll fast forward a bit, right? I got into a relationship, right? I'm newly gay at 19, about a year and a half into recovery. Baby gay, let's go. I'm in college. Woo! And I got into a relationship with someone that was very unhealthy and emotionally abusive to me, who was 9 years older than me at the time. Now, at the time, that didn't seem weird because I was just that mature that a 19-year-old could be with a 27, 28-year-old. I'm just that mature, guys. I wore it. And we were in a relationship for 8 years. Ooh. Yeah, you can imagine where that goes, right? But at the end of the day, this was all in New Jersey, right? And, it starts beautiful, right? And over time, it's what is it? When you're, I don't like that saying of but when you're boiling something and it's, when you're boiling something and it's incrementally hotter that you don't realize it. And all of a sudden you're in some boiling water and you're how did I get here? And that was me. And basically, right, we're in a relationship in New Jersey. We moved to Ohio. That's how I'm here, right? We moved to Cleveland in 2015. I say that it's like I'm grateful that I started this chain of beautiful things happening to Cleveland, like right after I moved here with the championship and stuff. You're welcome, I know. Anyway, and we bought a house, and we got some dogs and cats, and we got engaged, and we got some chickens. It didn't last long, but, and then, something came crashing down into 2019, and I realized, like, oh, shoot, like, this is not healthy for me anymore, right? And she basically said, like, hey, we haven't been happy for a while, and, I met someone, and we should either have an open relationship or I think we're done. And I think I'm 20, what is this, 2019? So I'm, 20-something now. And me, the person who's such a people pleaser and codependent and low self-worth, even with like 8-9 years in recovery, I was still very much of a people pleaser. I really cared about what you thought about me. I had not done enough of my own digging of like my own self-worth, and I had paused my step work because I'm sure some part of me knew if I continued on, I was going to have to face the fact that this relationship was not healthy for me. And that was too scary for me. Being alone now, like, no. I figured that as long as I was in a relationship and it was continuing, that was a successful relationship. Because at the end of the day, that's what my parents didn't do. I saw that they just gave up. And that's why they got divorced, and that's why there was all this pain for me. But if they had just continued not giving up, maybe it would have been okay. In reality, it would not have been okay. Like, they were two emotionally unhealthy people that did not have the skills or the resources or the willingness to work on that together. But in my mind, that's what a relationship was meant to be. And, so I stayed for a long time, and I didn't work on me. It was just about making sure she's happy. And, when she gave me that ultimatum, I was like, okay, yeah, the spiritual part of me is to let go of my jealousy and to accept that my partner wants to see other people, and that's okay. Right? That can be okay. This is a higher spirituality, guys. Like, we are advancing past a monogamous thing that's, and listen, some people have relationship structures like that. Beautiful, right? Consensual, everyone on the same page communicating. Beautiful. We didn't have that. This was manipulation. This was a lot of, it was painful. So I tried that. It lasted about 2 weeks, and then something snapped, and I realized, this isn't work. I need to go. I moved out in the span of like 2 weeks from my house, and beginning of 2020, and I say that was like the year of me starting to find myself, right? And it kind of became like it was the first 9 years of my recovery up until that point, and then there was after, right? It's been like six and a half years since then. And in just the year or two after that, I had done more healing and more work and deepened my recovery more in a year or two than in the previous 9. How does that happen? How does that math add up, right? So clean time does not equal recovery? I believe it. Because my recovery now is like a 2.0. And I was like kind of like stalled in like first gear for a minute there, and I was like, I'm fine here, everything's good, I don't want to shake the boat, right? And then it was like, I didn't come this far to just come this far, and like really opening me up. And then I started doing a lot of trauma work in recovery. I started doing a lot of grief work and starting to really get to know myself. Not just, I already knew I was a gay woman, but what about all the other things that I didn't accept about myself, right? I didn't accept that I was that emotional, sensitive flower. In fact, it was this partner who would use that as a weapon against me, right? Thank you. So, recovery has taught me that the layers keep peeling, right? And that it's not just about me accepting myself as a gay person, like was shared before. Like, that's one part, yeah. Or as an addict, like, yeah, that's one part. That's a big part. Yeah, but it's like, who am I in my entirety? And how can I accept that today? How can I accept that maybe I was upstairs before, and like it's a little like, I've learned I'm neurodivergent. I have some ADHD, whatever. I don't even care about the label, but I was a little anxious up there. I have to hug everyone, but then I don't want to not hug somebody, and it's like I just don't like it. It doesn't feel good. It's not helping my spirit. And then I came down, and it's like, oh, it's okay that I need a little, like, I'm like a little more of an introvert some moments, and I need some time to decompress. That is okay, right? Like, oh, that's okay. Oh, that's okay, right? And I just want to share real quick, a quick story of the way that recovery has continued to peel back the layers, right? Is that I haven't just stopped at like, okay, I'm an addict, great. And, oh, okay, I happen to be gay, great. Like, I continue to peel the layers, as I was saying. And a couple of years ago, I was at a pride parade in Cleveland. And for anyone who's been at a pride parade, you probably know that there are going to be protesters there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. But this is interesting, right? So there was a guy there with a microphone and a microphone corded to like an amplifier, talking about all the stuff about how wrong this is and you're going to hell and all of this, right? And this is weird, right? Because in my former life, I was that person. I was handing out tracts, and I was afraid of gay people, really, like, because I thought they might, like, they were just sex-crazed people. Don't be alone in a room with them, because I'm going to be attacked. Like, that's how I felt, right? That was the internalized homophobia, right? So, like, I get it. Like, I was that guy. I really thought I was telling the truth. But anyway, I'm here at this pride parade, and here's this guy, and everyone is upset, right? Everyone is like, go home, right? They're booing him. Of course, nobody wants to hear what he has to say. Everyone's really upset. And then something interesting happens. There's somebody who finds a pair of scissors, and she walks up to this guy, the preacher dude, and she cuts the cord. And all of a sudden he's talking, but nobody can hear, and everyone applauds. I wasn't applauding. Because something in me realized in that moment, and this is me speaking for me, right? Something in me noticed in that moment, like, that's not who I want to be. The fact that I don't like what he's saying means that I can destroy his property and threaten him because I don't like what he's saying? So, it really stirred me. And then later that night, right, I was really like, what is going on? And it's that, you know what? Today, I can hold more than just one black or white identity. I can be the proud and out gay, lesbian, right, at that pride parade. But I can also stand up for that dude and his humanity to not feel threatened and his property damaged, even though I disagree with what he's saying. Now, a lot of people have a hard time holding those two seemingly contradictions. Whose side are you on? Let me tell you, I'm on the side of humanity today. And yes, as a human, I happen to be an addict. I happen to be in recovery. I happen to be gay. All of that. But you know what? He's human too. And I don't need to exponentially the anger or the hate that I think he's spewing. That's not going to go anywhere. I don't have to agree with what he's saying to advocate that he has a right to feel safe. Even amongst a bunch of us colorful, beautiful people. Even if he doesn't like us. So that creates this like real beautiful moment for me in my recovery, is that I can start to step outside of just my box. I can, practicing my principles in all my affairs means that, honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness, like, okay, that's going to apply at the pride parade when there's a guy speaking that I don't agree with. Because he's not breaking any laws. He's allowed to be there. I get that I don't like it. He's allowed to speak. It's different if he's like, hurt, like beating some, of course. But, recovery has given me this ability to slowly like disentangle the knots of grief and trauma and instant reactions because of my pain, where now I can have so much space to even be able to be with that person that I used to be and be like, I'm not mad at you, dude. I don't agree with you. I don't agree. We can talk about that. And I might need to set boundaries to keep myself safe and protected and all of that. But at the end of the day, like, we're both human, man, and we're trying our best. And I hear the timer, and, recovery has given me that ability to just see myself in everyone else. That part of me that was really, like, disgusting or angry or hurt or traumatized and painful. Like, I don't have to be mad at that person. I can show them love because I've had to learn how to show love to that part of me. That was a version of me that got me here, and I've had to learn to love and forgive and all of that. And that's why, like, you can share your healing journey, and I'm going to start crying because it's so beautiful, and I feel it. I feel it, and it's so beautiful. I'm so grateful to this program and to all of you. If you got nothing else from what I shared, NA makes a promise that any addict can... What do we do? That's right. I did that on purpose. I'm testing y'all. We can stop using. We can lose the desire to use. I didn't know that could ever happen. I might stop, but I'm still going to want to, right? I can stop using and I can find a new way to live. And that's possible for you too. And that's what I'm still doing. I'm still finding that new way to live, right? And I'm grateful to do that with all of y'all. Thanks for letting me share.